Thank you everyone for joining us on our weekly Tower Garden Zoom call. We are now focusing on growing indoors. Some of the tower gardens you see may still be outdoors, but all of those towers are transitioning to come indoors. We just absolutely love being able to grow our own food from tower to table without people touching our food as less as possible, breathing over our food, no chemicals. We know what's in our food because we are growing our food ourselves. A lot of people are focusing on health and wealth, and they should be. And also, there's no wealth without your health. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Beverly and GQ Grandison.
Hey, Adrian, Sharon, Marla, I love you ladies. And sorry, today, no picture because I am multitasking, trying to get things done here. Because we're in Florida right now. But I will tell you all, thank you all so much for joining us every Saturday, 8 p.m. The Hicks sisters, amazing, dynamic, powerful women who I am just honored to be on this journey with, locked arms together, inspiring healthy living around the world. This is an awesome Tower Garden call that they have consistently, and you'll learn about this business. Consistency is what brings success. And these ladies are senior sales coordinators. And if you don't know what that is in our company, that is in the leadership levels. And that means that they are absolutely impacting thousands and thousands of lives. And that's so exciting about this amazing community. I know people every week of you that join us know my story. As you heard Adrian said, I am Beverly Grandison, a qualifying national marketing director with the company. And just a lot of great things happening really this year for our company. The Juice Plus company is a 50-year-old company that started back in 1970, a great year, same year that I was born. So I'm excited about Fabulous 50. We're celebrating 50. So if you're new to this call, please get with the person who invited you and definitely ask them about our Juice Plus Live Global events that starts next month, October 3rd. And then for the US, October 8th and 9th, you definitely want to plug into that because you will see the company at a bigger level than what you're seeing right here. This is just a small level of like-minded, like-hearted partners that have locked arms to share our journey, share our stories with you. And this is how we all have been connected through this amazing company. Like I said, the Juice Plus company started back in 1970 with the same president today, Jay Martin, that's well and alive, amazing visionary, who in the 70s actually started with the smoke detectors. In the 80s, most people know them for the water filters. They were NSA, National Safety Associates back then. And then in the 90s is when the Juice Plus product came out. And then a couple years after that, the Tower Garden in 2012, which is what you're here for to hear, and you will hear a lot. Amazing speakers share their towers and share their health journeys with you. And then we have even an Omega plant-based product. So we have a very small product line, 6 products. This is an amazing low entry franchise fee, which is what I call it, $52 a year, $1 a week, to be part of this amazing company, to just share your successes of your health journey on how we're taking control of our health and how we're taking control of our food source. So I'm not going to get into too many details with my story, but I will tell you that I've actually been with the company for 15 years. So it's very real. And I tell my friends and family, I wouldn't be doing this 15 years later if it weren't real. Many lives have been impacted. And I used to be in the military and the Army all the way, jumping out of planes. And after my Afghanistan tour, chronic fatigue set in where I couldn't shake it. And then finally, January of 2005, when I had some facial paralysis, right side, and couldn't lift anything with my right hand for a little bit, taste buds disappeared. That's when they had to run further tests and rule out a whole bunch of different diseases and landed on an autoimmune disease. My husband, he had Crohn's, another autoimmune disease. And we really didn't know any better. We really thought disease, disability, doctors would be our rite of passage. But you know what? Thank God for our neighbors. And on every call, you hear me talking about neighbors. We're supposed to love your neighbor as we love ourselves. Love on your neighbor, please. Get to know your neighbors, because you never know when you're going to need them. And that was our neighbors, the Weebies, who really adopted us like we were their kids and loved on us, educated us, empowered us about the power of whole food, plant-based eating. And that's what they did, because their son had fought stage 4 brain tumor cancer previous years before. And they understood the direct link between disease and nutrition. What you'll understand that as you join this community, that you become sisters. Adrian and Sharon are sisters from another mister. And our goal is to really, in our later lives, have a premier quality of life and hang out together. And I always tell them we're going to be on a cruise, shaking our butts in retired life, loving life, still doing what we're doing. We're going to retire into this, and this is what we love. And so my neighbors, as I was mentioning, Richard, he lived 18 years. He had that glioblastoma, the same tumor that killed Ted Kennedy, Joe Biden's son, and Senator McCain. And what they shared with us revolutionized our life totally. We then understood the power of whole food, plant-based eating. And that made a big difference. And why are you hearing about this, right? You're here on the Tower Garden call because we hear, a lot of people say, well, I came just for the Tower Garden. But we would be remiss not to share how we were even introduced to the Tower Garden. So trust me, just bear with us, because you're going to hear a lot about Tower Gardens. But what they shared with us and the lifestyle changes that we made, it really opened our eyes to this whole other side of life that we didn't know existed. And so if you don't know this about, this whole company and what it has to offer you, then that's why we do these calls, to open up your paradigm to understand that not only can you grow your health with the Tower Garden, aeroponics, no soil, you grow faster, no less weeding, less tilling, and the food is from tower to table, nutritious, more nutritionally dense, fresh. It's amazing. It really, really is. And so as what they shared with us and the lifestyle changes we made, I will tell you that I rarely ever get sick. My husband and I both, you know what? We don't have to take over-the-counter medication or prescription medications. We are in control of our health because we've made a lot of lifestyle changes, a lot of prayer, truly. We do a lot of holistic massage therapy, chiropractic care, acupuncture, you name it. You know what? We do a lot of that stuff to complement your nutrition. And I will tell you, when you put yourself and your body in a state to receive the healing that comes possibly sometimes from our doctors and other practitioners, it gives you better health outcomes. What I'm glad to tell you is I don't look at my medical records. At 50, I am feeling great. I'm in control of my health. My husband is also. And we will do this truly until we expire. That's what this community is about. It's about like-hearted, like-minded people who are sharing this message of hope. Because that's what I hope you hear after you get off this call, that there is hope. That yes, you can take control of your health, either by growing your own food with your Tower Garden and getting that pure food and watching your kids develop and see. And I know Precious and Philip, my next president, they were on a call last night, did phenomenal. And it's about us passing this on to the next generation, y'all. So I hate that I couldn't, see faces today, but I promise you we'll be back next week, and just excited about where we're going together as just sideline teams, really making a difference in this world, impacting generations to come. So Sharon, Adrian, thank you always for letting me be a part of this call and allowing me to just share in the beginning, to just really open the picture of you all. Get ready, put on your seatbelts, because you're in for the ride of your life. This is an amazing call that truly, truly will inspire. And hopefully once you get off of this call, you're going to make a decision to do one of three things. You're going to either be an A person, so tell the person who invited you, hey, you know what? I love the information I heard. You know what? I want to try. I want to buy a Tower Garden, or I want to try that Juice Plus they're talking about. Or maybe you're going to say, you know what? Not only do I want to just try it, but I might have a couple of people in my family, a couple of close friends I want to share it with. That's your B person, okay? That you want to join and be able to share it and get the discount as we did when we first joined also. But maybe you want to be a C person and say, you know what? I love what I heard off of this call. Those are inspiring stories. Those people are real. And guess what? Not only do I want to join this mission to share this amazing opportunity and products, I'm all in. And I want to get to the top because this is an amazing company that at your higher levels now, let me make that clear. Because what what you're going to learn is we're not here to make any income claims. We're not here to say Juice Plus heals, prevents, or does any of that stuff. We just can tell you what the science says it does, that it does lower inflammation, that it does absolutely protect our DNA, that it's help our healthy skin and gums, and that it is doing so much good things for our bodies internally. And then the science on our tower gardens is that, yes, at University of Mississippi, they did a study between dirt and our system. And guess what? Our system absolutely was more nutritionally dense, grew faster, and just healthier all around for the environment and everything. So this is sustainable and it's lasting. And guys, I just say, join the mission. And thank you so much, Sharon. Thank you, Adrian. I love you ladies. Marla in the background making it happen. And teamwork truly does make this dream work. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Beverly. And I just want, even though Beverly is not here, I just want you to see the tower garden that she has grown outdoors in the summer, and they are now transitioning everything for winter. Let me just give you a little glimpse of what and how these tower gardens grow.
Okay, so here is, whew, this whole thing has got to come down, y'all. This is like totally crazy insane. Look at this thing. This is like a tree. I have never seen celery so big in my life. It's like ridiculous. So like, okay, how are we gonna get this out of here though?
One at a time.
No, I don't want to cut it. I want to take it all out. And
Once you cut at the bottom, you lift it up.
but it's strangling this right here.
Okay, we'll lift that up.
All right, well, I'm going to chop this up down here because we've got so many that need to be growing right now. We're stifling the growth, actually. I don't even know if I can cut this. Oh, my goodness. This stalk is like thick. Oh, gosh.
Put it to the bottom.
So, look at this, y'all. This is insane. This is insanity at its best. Oh, my goodness. Y'all, look at this celery. This celery, OMG. Can y'all see this celery and how rich this stalk is? This is crazy. Oh my gosh. This is insane and gorgeous. So this is like some of it, and then I'm gonna put another one of it because I'm juicing a lot of this stuff today. So I'm excited I finally got my juicer in, finally. And these things have got to go. Oh my goodness. So here's some, look at this. Look at this. This is crazy. Here, all that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm almost sad to see it go, but it has.
I just wanted you guys to see a small piece of that. And when Beverly juiced it and showed us the juice, the only time I have ever seen celery so dark is when it's been grown on the tower garden. And for those of you who don't know, the tower garden is an aeroponic automated growing system. So it waters itself. The lights, if you have it indoors, the lights come on and off by themselves. So depending on where your tower garden is at the time that you are planting your seedlings that grow into the tower, you could leave for a month and you don't have to have anyone water your tower, water your food, or have to worry about whether or not it's getting sun or water about the weather. Let me just show up my tower garden a little bit. And this tower garden is getting ready to be a lot of stuff being replanted, but these are peppers that I am growing on my tower garden. Can you see all of this? These are beautiful peppers. We've been eating off of this tower garden for 4 months. On this tower garden, actually, this weekend is National Collard Greens Weekend. And look at my beautiful collard greens. And I've been eating off of these collard greens and cooking. Anytime I want to cook some collard greens or add collard greens to my salad or anything for the last 4 months, I've been able to do so. The tower garden, the basic tower garden, you can grow 22 different fruits and vegetables all at the same time on one tower garden. And with that, I would like to turn this over to Henry.
Teacher. I taught biology, chemistry, environmental sciences. My favorite was anatomy and physiology. Did that for 14 years right here in Dublin, Ohio. And I was asked to be on the call so I could share with you a little bit about how we use tower gardens in our school systems. So we have 3 tower gardens in my classroom. Our biology students, they design the experiments. The environmental science students will maintain the gardens along with the special ed department, and the global gourmet and foods and fitness classes. They use the produce off of the tower gardens, and they even use a business application for the business classes. So we're going to go ahead and play this video for you to show you a little bit how we use it in elementary schools. This is an example of what you can do with in anywhere from a daycare all the way through K through 6. At this school, we have grown zucchinis. We have cucumbers. You can see this is one of the activities that we do with the kids. Is we teach texture, taste, preparation, and the kids get exposed to a lot of these fresh produce that they wouldn't normally at home. And we love getting emails from parents asking, hey, we went to the grocery store the other day and my kid asked for kale. I didn't even know that my kid, knew what kale tasted like or what kale was. And so this is a great thing because what we're teaching in the classroom goes far beyond just the standards of, this and what is the difference between a plant and animal's cravings. University has there for 5 then. And so this is a of how our kids are only one of the questions that we get all the time, and I'm sure you're going to hear from the other speakers, is we have kale, all sorts of different types of kale. We have chard, rainbow, and Swiss. We grow all sorts of things, including thyme, rosemary. We even do for tomatoes.
Thank you, Henry. Your sound was going out, but fortunately, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And we thank you so much. And Henry also has tower gardens in the Ronald McDonald House, if anyone is familiar with that. Ronald McDonald House for children in need that are going through all types of chronic illnesses and diseases. And so we thank you so much, Henry. And with that, I'm gonna actually call Sam Bobby.
Let me just tell you a little bit about why Tower Garden was for me. I got laid off March 19th, and I went into kind of a terror-free state for about 3 weeks, and started hearing this little tapping. You need to grow your own food. You need to grow your own food. You need to grow your own food. So, okay. So, anyway. I made some self-watering containers out of some plastic jugs. I tried to grow some carrot tops that I cut off from the carrots in the store. I did a bunch of experimenting, and then I sent a picture of what I was experimenting with to a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, and she was she was like, "Oh yeah, well look what I got," and I was like, "Oh my God, that's my solution." So she she talked to me about Juice Plus and the product of the Tower Garden and how I could get in. And as soon as I heard the price, I was like, no way, I just lost my job. And she's like, well, how much do you spend a month in produce? And you can pay it off in 12 months in monthly installments of less than $100, less than that even. I got some extras. And I was like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. So I did. It came within like 3 days. It was here really, really quickly. My lights were on back order, but I still plugged my plants in once they were sprouted. And they just kind of sat there until I got my lights, because I don't have much, light in my apartment. So, and I'm on the second floor. That's the other thing. I'm on the second floor of an apartment. I don't have any land. I wasn't part of a community garden. I didn't know what to do, and she completely had the answer for me. So when I heard that being a partner, when I saw the Tower Garden, I was like, oh my God, that is something I could share with people. Like I'm a farm girl, my dad's got 1,200 acres under GMO corn right now and soybeans. They're harvesting at the moment. They grow cattle. They milk twice a day. And I grew up like that, and I was just home in July and being really wistful about being on the farm. And it made me realize like how important it is for us to get food to people, for us to get the opportunity for people to put food on their own tables in their own way. Whatever they grow, other people aren't touching it. It's not coming from California, 2,400 miles away. There's no cardboard involved, plastic bags. I want to do the math on that. I want to see what we're saving in resources by growing our own food. And to find out things like, that they harvest 3 weeks in advance. And that's like having a baby at 6 months, like the baby does all the growing in the last 3 months, right? Or at least this is my understanding. and to not have your food go to full fruition and full maturity on the vine, you're losing all of that, all of those nutrients. Like you're not feeding your body well at all. So, or maybe you're trying, but you find out it's not that great. So anyway, I love my tower. It's wonderful and amazing. And I've got a couple of tomato plants that are on the bottom here. And I learned how to do hand pollination. So I've got 3 fruits growing. It's not many, but it's my first go, I had to harvest my oregano because I ended up tying it up to the lights. There was so much of it. It was crazy. And now my dear Adrienne asked me, she did a little digging, dance with our towers. So everybody get up.
Dance to your food. We should dance to our food. We should thank our food.
Yes,
We should
absolutely.
thank to our food.
When we're providing this to other families and people who know that they want something like this, giving someone the ability to grow for themselves is an absolute blessing. It's an absolute blessing. To provide, to be able to get to the point where we can provide food for others, total blessing. And to just be frank, like having the tower in my apartment has helped me start to look outside when I go hiking in the woods, like at the absolute abundance, the proliferation of nature, and when I find out that the UN says we've got about 60 years of farmable soil left, I want to do something to help that stall. I want, so for whatever it's worth. So we're going to do a little shoulder shimmy. Can you see me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to put your arms out to your sides. Here, I got the solution. Put your arms out to the sides. And what you're going to do is you're just going to bump your shoulder forward. You're going to keep all of this very still. Bump your shoulder forward, pull it back, and bump the other one forward. Pull it back, bump the other one forward. Your hands are like beautiful little gems on the ends of your arms. They're just kind of floating in the shoulders, yeah? And then you can go a little. Nice, look at you. You go a little faster. And then, of course, you can turn to your tower and you can shimmy with your tower. You can speed it up even more. Then you can do it snake arms, yeah? Nice switch. And then you can do a little hip bump, yeah? Believe it or not, it's all in your knees. And then do a little hip circle. Your upper body stay nice and still. Thanks. Hope y'all
Thank you
have fun.
so much. That was so awesome. I seen many people getting up
Good.
and
Good.
dancing.
That's
Dance to the tower. That is so awesome. And with that, I would like to just share a screen just to show you some more of the community.
Wake up, wake up. You got the power. You got my people in the show. You got to wake up. Midwest 30 South, you got to stand up. All my homies in the West, so you got to wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up.
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Wake up, our teachers, time to teach a new way. Take it and then listen to what you have to say. Tell the one who's coming up, the world is in their hands. When they teach the children, teach them the best too. Great peace, we mean it. Can you feel it when we scream it out loud? Do you believe that we need it? Do you believe that it can get right? Do you believe that the children of the world deserve a good life? Well, if you do, it's time to wake up your mind. We can make it better, and I know it might take some time, but we gotta start somewhere. How about with you and me? From one thing to the other, then we'll have our unity.
All the doctors make the old people aware. They're the ones who suffer, catch all the hair. But they don't have so very long for the judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away?
Wake up, time to build us, time to build and bless. I know we can do it, long as we lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in our minds, and surely things will work out. We'll take
Pick up y'all time. I came to shake up y'all mind. It's everybody's wake up call time. I can't sleep too long. Why they do the people wrong? Let's clean the world up before they sweep you gone. This is real talk. You can peek through songs. So when you feel weak, these words will keep you strong and help make a change for the better. It's hard for one to do it, but we can make some change together. Stand up here, give thanks to the man upstairs with the ego and the pride to the side, regardless. And just be role models, parents, artists. We can make it change, or we can make it the hardest. If you gonna make a baby, you should make them the smartest. Let them know good and bad, right from wrong, how to roll with the punches when life moves on. The stress won't get told if you don't sweat it. World won't get no better if we don't let it. Let the negative energy ride. Keep hope alive. It's about time that we open our eyes. Wake up.
Everybody was sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world is just so very much from what it used to be.
listen, the words I speak, wait, the ones who sleep, the leadership speaks your mouth to teach. Shit speaks, teach the kids who speak. They don't have to worry about the police. We make them so they don't have to see. Every artist here on this track. We'll make a change here for young cats. This is for everybody white or black. You better go and vote and get up off your back. Just like a roll on your dad, get your voice up. You see the power of the people is the choice to win like love. Now the choice is to get the people and to fight for it. And the fight for voice over anyone more. Voice be heard. Take the opportunity. Responsibility. Your voice has to be heard. Save the world, save the
Things, but we can control our health because we cannot feel that our health is in the hands of doctors or these supermarkets or things like that. That is, our health is totally up to us as much as possible. Lori Weeks, and with Lori, after Lori, we will have Pastor Harold, and Sharon will close us out.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I am so excited. You guys, true story. I'm out here dancing with my tower just now. I'm just dancing and feeling good and thinking, you know what? I ought to do this more often. And I turn around and my neighbors, they both have their looking at me like wondering what in the world she is doing. But all I know, you guys, is that I am having a whole lot of fun doing what I'm doing. And, you know, eventually, I really think that what I'm doing in this neighborhood is gonna catch on from house to house to house to house. And probably sooner than next year this time, I'm gonna have more people standing on my patio, dancing and celebrating just good, real food, nutrition, and everybody just living a much healthier life. My name is Lori and I live in Evans, Georgia. I'm so excited to share with you the difference that fruits and vegetables and berries and real clean homegrown food has made in my life. I was introduced to Juice Plus whole food concentrates 3 years ago, and I just knew that it was a good idea. And when my neighbor who shared it with me told me that I could get over 30, 40, 50 fruits and vegetables vine ripened in the form of a capsule or a gummy, I knew that that was something that I needed. Because you guys, try as I may, really, my health, I was really just always fighting for my health, fighting to feel good, always recovering, always realizing that I wasn't sleeping well enough. And my goodness, I was really kind of afraid that if this continues, I didn't know what my health was going to look like. I also had 2 children in the house at that time, and they were on a number of prescriptions, one for anxiety and depression, and the other one for asthma, allergies that were turned to bronchitis. And so we added whole food nutrition into the entire family. Children get Juice Plus for free. I would love for you to ask somebody about that, but I'm going to go on for time's sake. We all started improving what we were eating. And do you guys know that just with the introduction of real food into our system every day, it started making changes, like we all started drinking more water, craving better foods, sleeping better. And you know, it gave me the encouragement that I needed to finally let go of things that were not serving me well, such as sugar and processed foods and, you know, just too much of the stuff that we all know what they were. But slowly I was able to give that up. You guys, we started all feeling better, one at a time. Cumulatively, we were on over a dozen medications, prescription medications. I am so happy to say that one by one, we started crossing those medications off of the list. I am super fired up to say that my husband and I are completely prescription free today. And my daughters, both of them, their allergies and asthma are doing so much better. She's on one rescue inhaler. And my daughter, who also suffered with anxiety/depression, she was also able to eliminate so many medications. And she also has one only when needed as rescue. Our eyes were completely opened at this point, and we saw, wow, we really can change things through what we put on our plate. And so that was when 2 years ago, we purchased and invested in, for the family, a tower garden. You guys, the tower garden has taken our health journey even further. I now am so happy to say that I have adult children. My daughters are 25 and 27 years old, who also are growing their own food. This was something that we could pass forward to them, and I'm sure that they're going to continue this journey. I don't think that they're going to have some of the health issues along the way that my husband and I had to endure, because they were introduced to good food early on. You guys, having this garden brings so much joy into our house. You know, my husband and I are on the same page regarding eating, and that didn't come right away. That came as part of this health journey because this was just so much fun. This made it easy, doable, duplicatable, sustainable. This was something, it was a perfect fit for our family. So I'm happy to say that we are living our best and healthiest lives. I feel just like so hooked up that this also has a business attached to it, and that I incorporated this as part of my business, and I get to talk to people all day long about eating fruits and vegetables and growing your own food. You guys, we're just all happy campers over here. So I'm really happy to show you what we have growing. All right, this is my indoor tower, and here, right next, steps away from my kitchen.
Okay. Okay, I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.
Steps away from the kitchen, I have all the herbs that I need. Here I have like my basil and my cilantro, my celery, my rosemary, and I also love microgreens. These microgreens, you can get a lot of nutrition in these smaller leaves. I have marigolds and celery, and being part of this community has also continued, to educate me and inspire me. You know, when you have Beverly Grandison showing her celery on the call and she's juicing, well, that really gave me some incentive to do the same. So I'm growing celery and now I am actually juicing it. And that's the first time in my life that, I really can do something like that and continue with it. So this here is my indoor tower, because you can see the grow lights here. And then I want to share with you, if we can still see outdoors, this is my outdoor tower. And here I have kale, Swiss chard, rainbow chard. Here I also have some more celery growing, marigolds. Yes, I did grow pumpkin, but I didn't grow that pumpkin there. And here we have some peppers, and talking about how vine on vine. I have more celery and Swiss chard. And this here is my herb tower with rosemary, cilantro, sage, basil. I also love essential oils. And so I started growing my own, like lemon balm, lavender, echinacea, chamomile. I have some lettuce here, and I think we can even see, I still have a few green beans coming in. And then over there, that tower is getting ready for replanting. I have Bib lettuce, Adriana lettuce, and some more curly kale on that tower there. I also think it's just so important that you see that I really am only on a small patio. I'm growing a whole lot of food in just a little bit of space, which I really just always assumed that I wouldn't be able to garden or farm for myself because I have limited space. You guys, thank you so much for letting me share with you tonight. This has really been a game changer in my health. This is just year 3, and I'm on a call with everyone who is aging backwards and feeling better and better every day. And I just cannot wait to see what the future holds for all of us. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Lori. You always give us our garden envy. And like Lori said, it's a very small space and they have control. And this is, if you have lands and you have time and you want to deal with compost and you want to, you know, and you have time for that, that's great. But for those of us who don't have the space or the time, this is amazing. And thank you. Welcome, Pastor Harold.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much. First, again, Adrian and Sharon, you guys are doing amazing, amazing jobs. I'm so honored to be on your Zoom calls. And, you know, truth be told, I love sharing my story. I come on just so I can be part of this culture. This is an amazing culture that you guys have a platform for. And I'm learning something new and growing with new ideas and new ways to use my tower gardens every time. And just now dancing with my tower garden was wonderful. Last week we had the drums playing on our tower garden. So thank you so much for me sharing. To everybody else, hello, how's everybody doing? I'm so glad you guys are here. My name is Pastor Harold Burton. I am pastor of Lighthouse, the Church for the Unchurched, and also St. Matthew's CME Church in Stockton, California. And my ministry is Healthy Conscious Living, bringing together like-minded individuals to grow healthier holistically, physically, mentally, and spiritually. It's a play on words. You guys have heard my story of health and my story of healing that I've shared before. And, you know, anything we're saying is worth repeating. So I was diagnosed, I had a stroke back in 2014. And I went to bed paralyzed on my right side. And I was praying to God in the hospital. I was praying to God that to fix it, please, because I couldn't function with my right side being having a stroke and not being able to. I wasn't paralyzed. I had the loss of my feeling, no feeling sensation on my right side. And overnight, I got my feeling sensation back, and that started me on a quest for healing. And I was really overtaken and thinking about the phone Zoom call that the Hicks sister had on yesterday, on Friday afternoon with the children. And it was just, it touched me to have children sharing their stories about fruits and vegetables and teaching other children. And it brought a memory of my past in my childhood. And I remember when I was about 5 or 6, because, you know, our diet and our food is very emotional. We are very tied to the way we eat, to our diet, not just how we eat, but also how we cook our diet and how we socialize with family and loved ones and friends around food. And I remember when I was 5 or 6, my mom had had a garden in the backyard. And she was growing tomatoes, she was growing carrots. And I remember the tomatoes because one day we were in the garden, and like I said, I'm 5 or 6, and I'm overturning the tomatoes and pulling tomatoes, and some were green, some were red. And I lifted up one, and there was a tomato worm. I'm not sure if you guys ever seen tomato worm, but when 6 and 7, that tomato worm was about this big. And I jumped back and I said, and it wasn't just one, it was 3 or 4. And at that moment, I jumped out of the garden. I didn't want to go back into the tower garden because of tomato worms. And from that point on, I had a negative feeling about gardens and tomatoes. It took a long time. We were singing a camping song, on top of spaghetti, all covered in cheese. I was thinking of tomato, but it was a meatball. And I kept thinking of a tomato worm eating the meatball. I was just terrified at that moment. But that started me on a negative way of looking at my tower garden. It wasn't until just recently that when I went to a Juice Plus conference in Sacramento, California, I was invited to, that I saw a Tower Garden, and that was the first time I wanted to grow my own food. It just pulled me into it. I've gotten 2 Tower Gardens now. I have one at my mother's house, and she loves it. And now I have the home Tower Garden here, and I love it. I'm going to share with you a few pictures of me. 2014, this was me hanging out with my family and friends on vacation, loving life, but I was 340 pounds, you know? And because of my diet, because of how I saw eating meats and more than fruits and vegetables, it was really causing havoc on my diet, on my health. I was taking medications for high blood pressure. I was taking medications for my stroke I had. I was taking medication to lose the water. I had sleep apnea. I was on sleep apnea machine. I had a tough time getting up 3 flights of stairs. But because of me continually trying new things and doing different things, trusting the word of God. And I'm not preaching for you guys today. I'm just saying you don't have to trust and take my word for it. God tells us in the first chapter, he says that God said that he had given us seed-bearing plant for us to eat. And in just the next chapter over, in Genesis 2 and 9, the Lord says that he had made to grow out of the garden trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. And this is the only food that God said was good for us. And also, if you go even further, he says in the middle of the garden, he planted the tree of life. This is living food. We're not eating something that is dead. We're eating something that is alive and helps us to live. When you eat plant-based diet, you actually get pulled into life. You don't want to go to sleep. You don't want to lay down, but you want to get up and do something. It's a different type of energy. It's an energy that moves you into being creative. When I went to this Tower Garden, to this conference in 2019, last year, I had got the ministry for healthy conscious living, which is my ministry that I'm doing now. And right now, with the help of the Hicks sisters, it's getting ready to take off. I have both the Oakland district and the San Francisco district. We're getting ready to do things with the churches and with the pastors to bring this concept of a healthy diet back to the people. This is what God wants us to do. And this is what is meant for us. Don't get me wrong. I love meat. I'm not a vegetarian. But when I eat a plant-based diet, it gives me the energy that I need to do the things that I need to do to get other people excited about health. This is a ministry for me that has taken on, and I'm getting healthier. Matter of fact, we're getting ready to do a triathlon. It's individually, it's go at your own pace, but we're going to do it together on a Zoom, which is a new way of doing it. But these things I would have never thought about doing when I was, eating my old animal-based diet. So once again, if someone has brought you on the line, this is a new thing. Just like we were up and dancing, having a good time. When you try this, and I'm serious, try it for yourself. All these stories are from people who have shared it themselves. Like you heard earlier, Juice Plus doesn't tell you it's going to heal you or it's going to fix your ailment. But when you look at the science and when you hear the testimony of other people and what they have gone through, their testimonies speak for themselves. God's word speaks for himself. So look at this as being added to your life, something that can help you and help your children, getting your children more healthier so they don't have to go down the same paths that we've gone down, because we've been taught that we need to eat a plant-based diet. And that's just not the case. Science-wise, looking at the science, besides what the Word of God says. So again, thank you guys for coming out. Get back with the person who invited you, because they're trying to give you something that's going to help you sustain health for you, your family, your friends, your loved ones, and grow from here. If you want to be a partner with this, now is the time, because it's taking off. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. And as always, we are honored that you are now a part of this call. It's just a blessing for us. And well, I will close us out. We just want to thank everyone again, and we will be here next Saturday And again, we are not making any claims that anything heals, that eating your own fresh fruits and vegetables grown on a tower garden is going to heal you of anything. We're not saying that Juice Plus is going to heal you of anything, but what we are saying is take control of your health. That's basically what we're saying. And learn to grow, because it is our right to grow our own fresh fruits and vegetables. And again, get with the person that invited you on this call so that you can get all your other questions answered, as far as how much is a tower garden? How hard is it to grow? The person that invited you on the call will really be able to go into detail with you. So I would suggest getting with that person and getting your questions answered.